It's not desert season without a campfire or Chupacabra off-road. Now, here's your host, Nick Olson.
What's happening, everybody? It is the Chupacabra Off-Road Around the Campfire podcast. We're back. With me, as always, every single pod we've done, Wes Leffler. What's up, Wes?
Hey, how's it going?
And podcast first-timer, Haley Sutton. What's up, Haley?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
So, Haley, if you guys haven't met or seen, you've probably seen her on some of our YouTube videos, but she's part of the content team. She's been with Chupacabra for almost a full year. And we're talking a little bit more about content, almost like a part 3 to the podcast Wes and I have done recently about social media content creation. And who better to have than bring on Haley, who's in the weeds creating content that you guys all see, like, hopefully, and enjoy on the YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, all that. So, Haley, why don't you give the listeners a little bit of a background about where you came from pre-Chupacabra?
Sure. So like Nick said, I've been with Chupacabra for just about a year. I seriously can't believe it's been a year already, especially through the pandemic. That went by way too fast for me, in my opinion. But before Chupacabra, I was working in multiple different industries. I was still doing social media and creating content in a professional sense, but I was dabbling in fashion, food, travel. I even did sports for a little bit. And I honestly never thought working in the off-road industry was going to be a career option. I always grew up in the dunes. I grew up going to TDS or Terre del Sol in a Jeep, actually. Yes, Wes, a Jeep can go in the dunes. I know you're surprised and shocked. But from there, we had rails and then went to quads. And now I have a Can-Am X3 sitting in the garage. So you could say I'm very happy to be making a career out of the off-road industry and having fun doing it.
Cool. So, obviously off-roader, and then worked in the content game doing some social and marketing for in the professional world before you joined the team. And it'd be good to kind of pick your brain. I mean, what do you think about even now or even before you joined, like some YouTube channels, podcasts you would like, brands on Instagram that are doing a really good job professionally, from your opinion, either in off-road or not?
That's kind of a tough one. I follow so many creators, all in very different categories, and there's quite a few that are honestly killing it. And what I mean by killing it is creating engaging content that is, to me, worth a subscribe or worth a follow. For example, I watch a videographer's YouTube channel. His name is Daniel Schleifer. He is a great videographer, but I watch his content for educational purposes. His videos are very informative, and they teach me stuff like how to do video editing and great filming techniques. So I really enjoy watching his content because that's how he provides value to me. Another example, she is a lifestyle and fitness influencer. I follow Sarah's Day is the name of her channel. And she just does really good vlogs and really stellar lifestyle content. And she appears to be really authentic to her brand and authentic to her audience, which is why I trust her as an influencer and someone to watch. She really provides value in that sense for me. As for Instagram, the platform itself is a beast, and defining what a good Instagram account is kind of varies upon opinions. If we're talking about brands or companies that do a great job, in my opinion, on social media, I would say like Yeti, the Yeti brand coolers, they do a great job on Instagram because they have like a really cohesive look, because Instagram is all about being pretty. They have a definitive brand, granted that existed before social media, but they still do a great job having that on their Instagram account. And they're also really great storytellers. They have such great videos and content that's really informative and really educational at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, all good examples. I mean, I know we'll talk about this in a little bit, but you mentioned a videographer, and I kind of turned to that when I tried to get into this world of creating content a couple of years ago of which camera do I buy? How do I use it? How do I edit the video? What makes Premiere actually work and makes videos easier to edit, more tolerable? So What do you think, Wes? Haley being around almost a year, have you felt the Haley influence on some of the content we put out?
I think Haley's done a great job, not just on the social media and everything else that she does, but a lot of the logistics that go along with owning an off-road company and the things that we've done, different events we've been to, things like that. Haley's on top of her game. She takes care of the shortcomings of others, including myself, when we're out doing some fun stuff, whether we're doing shoots or the shows or whatever. And it's really good to have somebody like Haley to come in and teach us some things that we didn't know.
No doubt. Well, I wanted to chat with you guys about, content. It's a reflective time. We're basically right about to hit 10,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for us to hit. Just over 3 years in the game of producing content. Wes, if you remember, one of the first videos that really hit the YouTube channel was we went to Coral Pink in 2018.
Can't believe that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, so
the memories popped up on social media for me this week, and I was like, wow, I can't believe it was 3 years ago. Simple drone, simple cameras, and it was simple content basically, but that place really films itself, I think.
Yeah, I think even at the time, I don't think there were many even videos of UTVs in Coral Pink. It was a little more off the beaten path than Sand Hollow, I would say.
Exactly. And I mean, since then, big names have been out there filming videos. You got people like Ken Block out there filming a video, and BJ Baldwin out there filming a video, and several other people that are filming videos out there. So
our boy Nate McBride did a lot of footage for his DJI campaign out there, following a dirt bike through the wash. Some cool footage.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really good spot. 3 years ago, it's crazy to think about that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, and through this whole journey, it's kind of fun to look back and reflect. And we're, Haley, like 175 videos deep so far on the YouTube channel. It's something I'm really proud of, just because it takes a tremendous amount of effort. Like Wes alluded to, we're actually run a business too during the day, selling products and launching new products, and how we're going to do that. We got overwhelmed talking about that today. But, it's almost like we're doing two things at once, but, and we're kind of like this hybrid where I'm just competitive. I want to be putting out content that's better than people who just put out content. I want to put out products better than companies that just put out products, and we're kind of in between, and we have creative differences about, like Haley kind of mentioned a little bit, like the beauty and the look of the Instagram feed versus like what I kind of think more of in terms of like a forum-ish look, where we're trying to either get a lot of conversations or talk about things that people might not be talking about enough or want to bring to light in the UTV industry. So it's always fun to go back and forth and, look back at getting this far, and then, kind of think about the type of content that we've created, what we see other people doing, and what we've learned. And I was watching the Speed UTV live video feed, like I do pretty much every week, to see what's going on with Robbie Gordon and the whole team. But a conversation came up about content. So basically, real quick, guys, you probably saw it too, but Robbie and the team got their new Speed UTV prototype. They're out testing it, and they're shooting some video. And they threw together a little compilation video running the car out in Parker. And it's really just like a raw, no music, no color editing, you know what I mean? Color grading, just slapped together like a bunch of behind-the-scenes B-roll shots. And he's been doing this for a little while. And when I first saw it, I thought it was kind of cool. I know Haley had some opinions about it too. And for what it is, it's like cool and raw. You can kind of tell exactly what's going on. I mean, I think there's not a lot of great or any cinematic value, I would call it, like now that I know more and have worked with some more team members out on shoots and such. But, it's cool. And one of the guys on YouTube was bagging on Robbie, saying, hey, like, this doesn't do your product any favors. You guys should hire a video crew like the people who do Bryce Menzies' work. And a few listeners aren't familiar with Bryce Menzies. He's a top trophy truck driver. And more recently, over the last year or so, Wes, he's been shooting some of these videos live, and he's been shooting himself or having his team shoot him as he's racing down in Baja out of a helicopter with an amazing camera. It is some of the best footage I've ever seen of any off-road vehicle. It is so sick.
It is the true raw video. I mean, yeah, he does a great job. He does it, whether it's down in Baja or does a few races in the States. They did, I believe last year they did Silver State, and then they also did Vegas to Reno, which is really good for the entertainment factor of, people who aren't at the races, who enjoy the races, they can watch it. And the cool thing is they have different footage. They have the helicopter, and then they change to the in-car, whether forward facing or the driver facing. So I think it's the future. We've talked about it before. I think it's an amazing way. It's probably pretty expensive, but I think networks, that would be their way of getting involved with this sport. And I think when you if they're able to bring back factories, you know, which we've talked in previous podcasts, maybe that's something factories should pick up and, you know, to benefit their people.
Yeah, you know, it's really cool. And I think has a lot of opportunities, like you said, to showcase the sport to more people. But the conversation was about how, okay, Speed's got this raw footage, you know, Menzies has this beautiful, beautiful footage. It really showcases the sport, you know, like as good as I think we're seeing it showcase in terms of off-road racing. And Robbie Gordon disagreed, and he talked about how a lot of the raw, unedited style has performed good for their Super Truck series and some other things. So, you know, I think it's interesting, and this also sparked a conversation on the Speed group where, you know, a couple of people said that they don't mind shaky iPhone footage because they know it's real. And you know, I'm not overly surprised. We've seen some reactions to that on some of our content, and you see a lot of vloggers who have no cinematic value at all do really well. So I'm curious what you guys think about it. I mean, like, I'll start with you, Haley. Like, what are your thoughts about it as a creator for Chup, as like a person who just enjoys content? Like, what do you like to see, and what do you see about either style?
That's an interesting topic. I mean, I want to actually jump back and talk about the comparison that Robbie did between the two videos, how one had 60 million views and one had 300,000 views. Those to me are two separate videos. For one, that should not be compared to begin with, only because they're in the same industry. I understand that you're comparing, but then again, to talk about the platforms that they were used on. So you're comparing a Facebook video that has 60 million views and a YouTube video that only had 300,000 views. Facebook and YouTube view views differently. So Facebook counts a view as 3 seconds and YouTube counts a view as 30 seconds. So that's a huge difference. And in my opinion, a YouTube view is more valuable. Also, comparing the actual platforms itself, that video went viral on Facebook because it's a sharing, networking platform. That's the whole point of Facebook, is to take that and make it go viral. YouTube is not that. YouTube is a broadcasting platform. So you're there to watch, engage, learn, listen. That's it. You're not there to share that with your friend and have conversations, except for in the comments. Where like Facebook, it just makes it so much easier to have things go viral. Now, when it comes to like actual content, I think having a good balance between the two is where it's at. Like you're going to need to have the raw footage to show the reality of it, and you're going to need the highly produced storytelling aspect of it in order to sell something and also to create an emotional connection. That's what people buy into, aside from the raw footage, is that emotional connection. You watch movies all day long, you watch TV for that emotional reaction, and that's kind of it. You don't really care exactly the quality of it. You'll watch reality TV because it's funny, but you'll also watch a fully produced movie because you enjoy it. So just you have to cater to two different types of people and two different types of viewing.
Yeah, Wes, what do you think about the comparison that Robbie made and just kind of overall content, what you enjoy watching?
Well, I mean, he used the term raw footage. And if you watch it, it's great footage. Like everybody wants to see it because even the people who hate him, he made that comment, you know, if you got 50% of the people who like you and 50%, you know, who hate you, you still have 100% of people watching you. And which is good, because that's how Robbie thinks. And, you know, he's always thought about that. He's had a lot of successes. But when you watch the video and he's comparing it as raw, it's just, oh, we didn't do anything to it. All we did is film it and throw it on there. That's not true. I mean, in the canyon scene, you can see his camera guys up on the wall. How many times did he run through the canyon to get that footage? Or when he's going through the rough section, everybody's on the side. How many times did they run that section? And they showed it's raw because it doesn't have, he's considering it raw because it doesn't have music and it doesn't have cool lighting and whatever. That being said, sometimes I like watching the raw footage. For instance, when I'm getting into the race car weeks beforehand, I'll search YouTube. I'll go on YouTube and look for Vegas to Reno UTV raw footage, just so I can watch the in-car, because most of those courses don't change, and I can get myself focused and I can see, and it's just a way to, you know, spend my lunch hour or whatever to watch that and see the in-car. So I like that type of stuff. But I think Haley hit the nail on the head when she compared it. You know, it's really hard to get that many views on a YouTube video compared to a social media site like Facebook where you can share it. However, it happens, but I think when those do happen, those viral videos do go viral and they're on YouTube, I think the views go a lot faster. I think, you know, because you consider like Gymkhana. I mean, you mentioned Gymkhana. I don't think that was a good analogy for him to use, because Gymkhana will get 1 million views in the first week. you know,
Yeah, maybe the first half a
yeah.
day.
And he mentioned BJ's videos, Recoil, great videos, a lot of editing, a lot of filming, a lot of takes. I'm sure, you know, those videos take like a week to shoot, and, you know, but I think that first Recoil that BJ did has like 45 or 50 million views or something like that, something crazy. But then again, other ones weren't successful. So then you have to think about what people want. And I think that's the thing, that there's just no perfect formula for what people want. We've talked about it before, videos that you shot that were like, man, these are the best videos ever. I can't wait to post this. It's going to be great. We're going to get 1 million views. And it's like, oh, wow, the belt changing video did better than this. Like, what is going on? You know? So there's not a perfect formula, but yeah, I think Robbie just, you know, in his defense, or not really in his defense, but that's the way that he sees it. I don't think he fully understands it. The stadium's super trucks, I don't want to give it the analogy that I usually call it, but they're on a huge platform. They're usually a big race weekend in Australia, which is before, after, or during a Formula One race or something that's on the world level. So they will get a lot of views, a lot of people watching it on the worldwide level, when really off-road and Baja and in the States is really small. When you talk about motorsports, you know, it's hard to get those views. So for Bryce's video to get 300,000 views, I think that's pretty good, you know, for a video of one race that happens in one day, once a year.
Yeah, and I think also Bryce doesn't have a huge amount of YouTube subscribers just yet,
No.
you know, for what it deserves. And I guess my 2 cents is the Bryce footage is just like, it is so good. It is like, imagine you are Bryce, right? You've got the baddest truck in the game and you're ripping in Baja. In off-road, is there anything better than that? And just that footage of it doing its thing, like, you're seeing so much of the Mexico landscape that I don't think I've ever even seen, because he's booking, and the 4K, the big screen, you're seeing it running down the coast and everything. To me, like, as someone who pays a lot of attention to mountain bike videos, moto videos, action sport videos are really good at, you know, I think I call it capturing the stoke, like the all the elements of it. And the Bryce thing is like, man, I want to go back to Baja. Like, man, I just want to jump on my side by side and rip. Like, it gets that emotion. And that's what I love about it. And I think that's what puts it on a higher level, in my opinion. It's significantly harder to do, to hire talented people and to get those shots. And like, you know, it's nothing's on the same league as the Pastrana Gymkhana, right? I don't think anything's going to come close to that. And first off, it's not fair, because a fair analogy, because no one's other than Pastrana. Let's just call it what it is. But then also what they did, and we expect that level of quality, and that's what kind of propels and brings awareness of what we do, and makes it really cool to a huge amount of people. And I've seen some other bike videos that do that really well. That I was just showing, like, some Danny McCaskill videos to my 5-year-old son, and Danny McCaskill is this amazing trials bike rider, and has done these amazingly viral videos that relate to all different types of people and pushes biking out to the world, you know. And a lot of stuff was like the brainchild of Red Bull, which is just a phenomenal company, and really kind of created this whole genre, if you will, to even, in my opinion, then have the recoils and such. So, you know, I like all of it too. I really like the raw stuff. You know, as a small business and a creator that's trying to put out consistent content, we don't have the luxury or the budget to be able to create this amazing, beautiful content all the time. And what a time, you know, like the last couple of pods we did, Wes, we're talking about, hey, if you're a brand or you're an off-road racer or you're an influencer trying to get your name out there, I mean, basically we said, all you have to do really is try. I mean, you can really break through with a GoPro. If any of you guys that are listening are familiar with with the moto vlogs, like Buttery is absolutely killing it on social and on YouTube. And now what I'm seeing, I was talking to Haley about this, is just a raw vlog, fun. This is us having a good time. And then he'll go to a little riding segment. And then that's like a nice produced sequence. It's got some music that they're into that resonates with their crowd. And then he does a lot of slow-mo, because they're good riders, but they're not pro-level riders in a sense. But it makes him and his crew look really dope. And, you know, Buttery has good style, and it accentuates what he does on the bike. He looks like a pro rider in these segments with some good videography, with some good angles and some slow-mo and stuff. And I think that's kind of like the magic vlog. I think of like top YouTubers. Like, I don't know if you guys watch Danny Duncan. He's hilariously funny, but it'll just be raw, what's going on, and then like these really dope action sequences with music and with some slow-mo and some added, cinematic value that just kind of carry you to the next scene. And that seems like that's kind of like what really works in the top YouTube vlogosphere. I mean, would you agree with that, Haley?
Yeah, I definitely agree that that's what matters most. But like I said earlier, it's about a balance. You have the raw, the true, the authentic pieces of it, and then you also have the fully produced, the edited, the super cool, like I want to look cool doing it kind of stuff. That's the way to get people's attention and again create an emotion.
Yeah.
You know who does a really good job of it's pretty raw, but they do a really good job on their YouTube channel is Justin Lofton. If you've never watched that, the Beef Life, he does a great job. His thing is he documents like prepping, he documents the race, he documents, having dinner with the guys, but they document everything. And he makes these 15-minute, 20-minute videos for like a week-long race. And I watched that one really pretty religiously because he gets there, he talks to people, he makes sure you feel like you're part of it type of thing. You're not just a fan watching it. And I think that's important. I think that's what Robbie's trying to do also. He's not just trying to, show these videos every week to explain what's going on in the car, but he wants people to see it because he's trying to sell, he's trying to prove his car's worth. That's really what he's trying to do. He doesn't do these shows because he wants to talk to people or he wants to get hate mail or he wants to get likes or whatever. He's doing it because he's trying to build his brand, where other companies don't have to do that. So the Beef Life is one of my favorites. They're not pros like, a couple of ones you guys mentioned, they're not like super like good at the camera and things like that, but they document it, and it's really cool if you're into the off-road stuff.
Yeah, and that's a really good segue too. I like you bringing up Robbie, like what his motives are. I mean, to be honest with you listeners, Chupacabra, we're a brand. To keep the lights on, we sell products. We have to sell products. I think personally, it's very long tail. Creating this content is something that I'm really passionate about, and also, I do think on some level there's a connection between making a great Glamis video and selling products. Like you look at the hat that I'm wearing, we're trying to build a brand where this logo is synonymous with our culture. And how you do that, I think, just takes a long time and a lot of consistency. But, I think that's where the content can really come into play. Similar to like what Fox Motocross Gear has done over the years. A lot of their content is they were, continuing to build their brand and work with athletes, which, now I guess we could call influencers. But, we do still have to sell product to keep the lights on. And Haley, we've been creating this content and we've realized, and kind of like to get into a moment of talking about how you see YouTubers navigate, YouTubers that do it professionally and make money, if you will. You take what works for you and then kind of compound on that. So in terms of selling product and also providing value to the community, we've learned a lot of content for our newbie customers, or maybe you have a dirt bike, or you're thinking about getting a UTV because it looks exciting and your neighbor got one, or you went down a YouTube rabbit hole and you found our channel or a UTV channel. But the content that we've made that's really helpful for somebody who's new to the sport has done really well for us, and it also helps convert and sell product for us.
Yeah, I mean, over the last year working with Chupacabra, I've been able to analyze what truly works in the YouTube space and on the Facebook space of video. And you're right, Nick, like the newbie content's where it's at, where people are buying a side-by-side or getting just brand new into the off-road industry because they're changing from a dirt bike and going into the side-by-side side, that they need to accessorize their products and they need to learn how to run their machine. And Chupacabra is right there ready for them. They're like, okay, awesome. I got a side-by-side. I need what? It's just like any other car you buy. When you buy a truck, you buy a Jeep, you're like, okay, how do I make it cooler? How do I make it fit my personality? What do I need to add to it? You're like, I'm going to add mirrors. I'm going to add door bags. I'm going to add cooler systems. I'm going to add storage, whatever you need. Like, you have to go and find it. And thankfully, Chupacabra has done a good job at telling people what to go buy. And we're basically spending their money for them, making it really easy.
Yeah. I mean, Wes, I know you watch a lot of the videos, most all of them. Like, what do you think? What do you hear about, you got a lot of friends and family that are getting into the sport, and you're like the expert of your friends and family and all that. What are the newbie questions that you get a lot of? And like, what do you think content wise people might be looking looking for, or, you know, using YouTube as a resource for that?
I mean, everybody goes to YouTube for everything. I mean, I still use it daily for anything. I'll go and search a video, how to do this, how to do that type of thing. So specifically with UTVs, I think that the videos that we've done where it's been maintenance or clutch work or how to service your clutches or things like that, little things like that, people will really watch those. You might not get the number of views that, you know, some of the faster pace, you know, videos that we've done like Glamis and others, but those are the videos that I enjoy no matter what I look for, because you're basically looking for a video to show you how to do something. And I think that Chupacabra has offered that, you know, in different aspects. I mean, long time ago, you did one on shocks with the shock therapy kit and how to install it and how to do those types of things, just a spring kit way back. And I thought that was really good because people go and they order these shock springs and they don't know how to put them on, or they don't have the first idea how to do it. You know, you see on Facebook every single day and all the different groups, you know, could somebody come over and help me change my belt because I really don't know how to do it. And you're like, you just cringe knowing that all you have to do is really get on YouTube and it's really simple, but there's people out there. Not everybody is going to be mechanically inclined. I sure as heck didn't know anything about side-by-sides going back over 5 years ago. And now I wouldn't be afraid to do anything on any car and offer that assistance. So those videos I really like. However, I really do like the fast pace, the Glamis videos, you know, it's fun. Those are just really fun. They're fun to watch because being behind the scenes and seeing what it takes to actually make a video with that much content or that much cool factor that we had to put into it, it wasn't easy. It's hard work to do those. So I don't know. I mean, ones I like better, you know, obviously you like to learn how to do things, but you obviously will really like to see the cool factor videos too. So I think more videos on simple things when it comes to side-by-sides, whether it's Can-Ams or whatever, or players, whatever, simple things, how-to videos, you know, real quick, how to do it. Kind of like when you do the install videos on how to install your mirrors or your door bags, things like that. I think those are really good for people. I think people really like those.
Yeah, you know, I think it's ultimately, it's always about providing value. I think about value nonstop, you know, and it's funny, like where Haley and I have a little bit different opinions. Like if you look at our Instagram feed, like at the moment, our Instagram feed looks like a forum page. It's not really showing off our brand in a pretty aesthetic like a lot of other brands do, and maybe that's what Instagram, you know, it represents for a lot of companies. But for us, it's still our biggest audience, and you know, that's kind of how we built it. And I can just see a post like, oh man, like let's talk about alignment. Let's talk about, you know, a funny meme, or let's talk about, you know, something that I know is going to get a stir, because I know that's kind of how our community was built. And it's fun to have those conversations. I think forums are pretty much dead. I don't go on them. And I mean, they're great for like looking up a code on a vehicle, but I think bringing those type of conversations that I think provide a lot of value, because a lot of people comment, and a couple of people will generally comment that actually know what they're talking about, or at least they sound like they do. And then having those conversations, you know, because I think our Instagram following is pretty good. We're definitely not the biggest, but there's a lot of accounts in the UTV and the off-road space that have a lot more followers than us, but they have no engagement. Like they have, you know, they don't have any conversation. They're not even responding back. Like it's, you know, it's not about the metrics, which I want to talk about more here in a second. It's like, we'll probably never be the biggest account, but we want to provide the most value, whether it's one singular post or at least showing what our product looks like on this color Can-Am, or, hey, did you notice, like, we really like this car built because look at how this, you know, this cage, or what they did with the color match, like to give you ideas on how you want to build your side-by-side. So we're trying to think about that with each post, which, you know, it's just putting the viewer, it's putting the customer first, even at the disadvantage of our feed not looking as pretty or as showcasing our brand maybe as much as we should, or maybe other brands. And what do you think about that, Haley? Like, how do you think we try to find that balance?
Yeah, I mean, finding the balance, we're still trying to figure it out.
Well, I know, Haley, like we want to have posts and we want to have engagement, right? I mean, that's kind of like our shining metric. And a lot of people, like if you're marketing 101, like at this point in the game, it's not about how many followers you have or many likes. Like, you know, you got to look past that, and any marketer that's worth their salt is going to say, hey, what is the engagement of this account? You know, like, or is there a real audience? So they have real purchasing potential. And Haley, we posted that post about the AGM jack, and it just went buku, like a $1,200 jack. hundreds of comments, and you know, a lot of people were DMing us, hey, I want to buy it, and maybe most of them wouldn't have once they saw the price, but you know, there is that purchase intent. So ultimately, as a company who's trying to sell stuff, we're trying to authentically provide value and build that purchase intent of all these products, whether that's a $2,000 light bar or a you know, $50 door bag.
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, it's such a mystery to know exactly how to get, you know, the feedback from people and the likes from people, but also making the video cool. I don't know. I don't know how we'd ever figure out the perfect formula. I think whoever does figure out that perfect formula, there are a few that do really well at it, but it's still not perfect. Once we figure that out, it might be good, but I just don't think there is one. I don't think it exists. I really don't. I think that you just got to keep putting out the genuine content that we put out, the, you know, the genuine videos, the real stuff, showing people that we're real. And you know, I've said this before in our past podcasts, as long as we're staying real with people and they understand that we're just not, you know, we're just normal people out here. We love we love this sport. We love off-road. We love everything off-road. You know, you don't just stick to side-by-sides either. It's moto, it's mountain bikes, it's pretty much everything off-road, you know, and showing people that are real, that's what's going to get us the people to like the views. That's what's going to get them to watch our videos. And the side-by-side thing, yeah, it is the bread and butter. It's the thing that we love, and you know, that's the products that we make. But at the same time, I think people will still watch us for other reasons. They just want to see. They want to see what's going on, and they know that we're genuine.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good segment into something Haley and I were talking about. Haley, you know, we're about 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it sounds cool. It sounds like this vanity metric, but you know, we've created 175 videos, Haley, and if we'd only racked up like 1,500 subscribers at this point, I'd be like, let's just call it a day. Because, you know, we're not a victim to these numbers, but at a certain point, the numbers reflect the value of what we're providing, you know, and we work really hard on a lot of these videos, right, Haley? Even if it's just like a quick little garage, you know, quick and easy, you know, with no cinematic value, like, you know, we need that encouragement, I guess, of views. Otherwise, we would get defeated because this takes a tremendous amount of effort.
Yeah, I mean, views definitely do matter. We don't necessarily cater to the views. We're not going to take a video down because it only got 500 views. But I also, like, again, want to go back to platforms here. You can put out the best content on YouTube time and time and time again and gain no subscribers and have like very little views. But is that because your content sucks, or is that because your audience is in a different platform? So you bring up how we have a good amount of followers on Instagram and almost 10,000 so we have over 40,000 followers on Instagram, and we have almost 10,000 followers on YouTube. Yes, our audiences are a little bit different, but at the same time, you're trying to reach the same audience on two different platforms, and trying to get someone off Instagram and onto YouTube is a whole different step. And to get them to subscribe is even another step. And you have to admit that today's society and today's culture and community doesn't want to press a button. We don't want to do anything. We don't even want to answer the door. We have machines that answer doors for us now. Like, we don't want to do anything for ourselves. But
what Haley's basically saying is there's 30,000 of you that haven't subscribed, and we know we make a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're getting 50,000 views but 10,000 subscribers, bro. I mean, come on, figure it out.
I know. As a small brand or a small creator, you have to try all of the platforms. Posting content on YouTube and posting it on Facebook and on Instagram, you just have to give it time. Once you find that you're succeeding at one platform, you just have to skyrocket from there. Not saying give up on YouTube. I'm not saying give up on Facebook. I'm just saying, okay, your main audience and your core audience lives on one platform. Kill it at that platform. Keep killing it at that platform. And then go ahead and try something different on YouTube, which we're doing. We're adding certain flavor. We're doing the forum stuff. We're adding more value in our Instagram, and then going ahead and making those super awesome content on YouTube, as well as providing educational, informative videos on YouTube, because that's what people want. It's the best of both worlds. Just have to get those Instagram people to fit YouTube somehow.
Well, let me ask you your opinion, Haley. So if you have 40,000 Instagram followers, okay, what does that compute into YouTube YouTube subscribers? Would you think the 10,000 YouTube subscribers, because it's a lot harder to get a subscriber than it is to get a follower, I would assume. What do you think that computes to? Like, if you had 10,000 YouTube and you switched that to Instagram, do you think that would quadruple, double? Would it be less or more? What do you think?
if YouTube was a vanity platform like Instagram is, we would be over 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. YouTube does not make it easy to follow content. That's not what it's there for. How many YouTube videos a day do you watch and don't subscribe to that channel?
All of them.
All exactly.
I mean, that's my point. So you have 10,000 people that every time you post a video get a chime and they know.
Yep.
That's pretty dang good. That's pretty dang good. I mean, yeah, it's never going to be Instagram numbers because it's never meant to be. Haley's made that point clear. So I think it's good. And it's only going to get more, if you wake up next week and you only have 9,000, then maybe you better figure it out. But hopefully that doesn't happen. So it's just going to be a slow grower, I think,
If that happens, we're just going to do what a lot of other people do. We're going to do thirst trap off-road. We're going to have, girls in yoga pants on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
We're gonna do donuts in our razors. We're just gonna do burnouts until the belt explodes or the whole thing catches on fire. I mean,
dude,
that's the action people really want, Wes. That's what we really need to do.
We'll just hire Ruslan, man. He'll come out and we'll triple, quadruple, double everything.
No, but I think that's kind of the thing is like we're trying to grow and the numbers do matter, and we're just trying to we're excited that I'm personally excited that we've attained a good amount of following by being authentic. That's hard because it's just like, if you guys are listening and you want to go start a business, like a lot of people probably would start a business with an authentic passion, right? And a belief that what they're trying to do is really something that a marketplace would need. But, unfortunately, unless you start selling something, then you can't get that momentum. And I think the same goes with creating content. If you wanted to be a YouTuber, you're going to try, you're going to make some stuff. And then if something sticks, you're going to be like, okay, this is what the audience knows me for. And I would be smart to just kind of keep doubling down on that, whatever that may be, So, and then from there, it becomes a slippery slope. Well, is that who you are, or is that just what the audience wants? Right? Is that what's paying the bills? Being something else, or what maybe becoming a caricature of yourself or something. So it's hard. I'm sure a lot of creators probably struggle with that, and then find your own voice or just remain true to yourself, even if that means a long, hard grind. There's probably people that have made double or triple the videos we have and haven't got to the subscriber level. And, the good thing about YouTube, Wes, is that even with 10,000 subs, you are making money. And it seems like the numbers really pick up steam quick, where even with Instagram, we had picked up steam, but the almighty algorithm that we all are victim to, you'll see some waves of momentum and then it slows down. And we honestly feel, right, Haley, like it has no bias on how good or bad the content is, the almighty algorithm.
No, it's the worst. The algorithm changes every single day. You can't beat it. Just like you were talking, Wes, earlier about finding the formula. That doesn't exist because Facebook and Instagram will just change it. They're like, oh, you figured it out? Cool. We're going to upgrade and change it and make it more difficult for you to gain subscribers and gain followers. Like there is no perfect formula. And those who say they're
Facebook,
killing
if you're
it.
Listening, we don't agree with these comments.
But you can see all these influencers that have millions of followers. How many of them are real? Like Nick said earlier, it's all about engagement. You can have 500,000 followers on Instagram and then have 4 comments.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to tell the ones who are, 500,000 to 1 million or even more, and their engagement. You can see their engagement without even running their engagement. You can just look at it. You can go to their video and see that in a whole day, they have 1 million followers, and in a whole day, they got 30,000 views on Instagram for their little video clip. And then you look and see how many likes they have, and they have 3,000 likes. For 1 million? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. And again,
all you have to do on your phone is go, and that's it to get a like, So we know, we've known that for a long time, that there's even a lot of people within our industry, in the side-by-side industry, that are smoke and mirrors, and, good for them if it works for them. But we know it's not working for them, and that's not what this brand's about. So
right.
The hardest thing is some of the best content I think we've made, like my 2 favorite videos, and I think the best videos I don't think they even have 10,000 views. The first is the suspension tuning with Wayne Israelson. We did January of 2020. And then you were there at UTV World Champs when Nathan shot and filmed UTV World Champs 2019. We did an interview with Sierra Romo. couple of the other racers. We had killer content. We had media passes, and we were out at Fox Proving Grounds, and we were getting content everywhere. It was super fun. I thought as a UTV racing video, it was freaking awesome. Obviously I'm biased, but those, videos didn't do well, but that doesn't mean that I don't think, like, I love that super nerd content too, even though we've kind of learned, and you're going to see more newbie content because we think that provides value and that also helps us run our business. But man, I'm never going to stray away from the content that I think is like super, like the nerdiest, most knowledgeable guy in your off-road group, the stuff that he geeks out on. That's what I want to make. So, I mean, Haley, what do you think about that? Like, just putting all your effort into something, and it's not as big as like a video that we made in an hour.
It's frustrating when you see like the video that you love and you work so hard for, and it just doesn't do well. It just flops. And I feel like so many people underestimate the amount of effort it truly takes to make a video like our Glamis video. We're going to bring that up because it's the best video of all time, right? There's so much work done behind the scenes that no one even sees. I know Wes talked about before that there needs to be a whole crew just following the actual crew, just so you can show people how hard this really is and what we actually did. We woke up at 5 a.m. one morning just to capture sunrise. And that's like really early for a New Year's weekend, just so everyone is
really
aware.
Early for the Glamis crowd too. That's usually when a lot of them go to bed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we made some people mad going off-roading in the middle of that morning. But like, and you didn't even see the hours that were spent in the evening before we all went to bed transferring content. I mean, we had 2 terabytes of content that we had to comb through and make sure we had great content. And then if whatever we missed that day, we had to go back and get the next. Like it was never ending for 4 days. And you don't see that. You just see a 16-minute awesome video.
That's why we need to hire somebody to vlog it all. So we have a guy filming us that are making the movie.
Have like a docu-series.
That's just a shaky iPhone and it gets more views in the video.
Yeah.
Right.
Put the blood, sweat, and tears into.
I mean, the amount of planning that went in just to get that video done, and then the shots that we want to get and have them written down, and charging the batteries. How much time do we spend charging batteries? I mean, people don't realize that those drone shots, as good as they were, that battery lasts like 4 minutes.
And they happen because of that Honda generator.
That ran for 4 days.
Thanks, Honda.
X91 octane.
Ran all night, all day.
Batteries, guys. We burned all of our gas on drone batteries.
That is the truth, though. I mean, if for some way people can know beforehand that how much work it takes to make a video like that, they would feel the same way we did. But it's never going to happen. So,
right.
I think we just need to keep making cool videos because I don't care what people think, really. So,
yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, I'm with you, Nick. I think that UTV Worlds video was awesome. That was filmed by 2 people. And, you had all the racers there, youth, you had everything. And you guys got some great stuff. You got some crashes. You got some really, really good footage. It was amazing. And at that time, just what was that, 2 years ago, there wasn't a lot of people doing stuff. You got your guys like Tuba, who does these 3-minute videos, and you pay $1,000, you get a 3-minute video at the end of your race, but it really doesn't document anything, so that video really, really captured it. And obviously the Glamis video this year was amazing. So
yeah, and that's a good point too. We learned that no matter how good a race video is and race footage, race is super niche. It's the 1% of the off-road community. Whereas Glamis video, it makes a lot more sense as a business to invest in it. It resonates with such a big group of people. The Glamis crowd, you guys are so passionate about G, and you really show up. They really show up on social and YouTube and all that. They love, I mean, Glamis just has this thing about it where people just love it and they embrace it and they want to be everything about it on a content level too. So you're going to see more of that from us in the future. We want to try to iterate and keep doing something different each time, I think we can always capture the action and try to capture you, the viewer. I think a lot of people like seeing that and see like what the scene is like for that particular weekend. But then also, maybe tell more of our story and switch up what our story is and do some different things we're working on. So Camp Razor, this year we'll be back at it. We'll be going forward again with some cool content. And we had some other projects before that. So we can maybe spill the beans, but we signed our first agreement with a company to do some sponsored videos. We won't tell you who it is, but we got a sponsor that's coming on board for 3 of our videos. And first on the docket is Moab Rally on the Rocks coming up next month. So I'm super excited to go back to Moab. I haven't been in 3 years. Moab is a magical place. I'd call, like, you think of off-road, I think of Glamis, Baja, Moab, of like highest echelon, special juju to go off-road.
Yeah, I went to Kinko's and Office Max and bought all the bubble wrap I could find so my car won't get scratched. So I got to bubble wrap everything up and make sure that it's safe.
Wes's car will be there just for the photo shoot. He's going to do fins and things, and that's going to be about it.
That's about it. No, we're going to drive it.
It's going to be a lot cleaner, It might have more scratches. It'll be a lot cleaner than a trip to Glamis or anywhere else.
Yeah, I guess I can handle it.
Well, let's wrap this thing up, guys. Any final, any thoughts on content in general on us, and maybe like what the viewers can expect from us moving forward, Haley, or maybe a video that stuck out to you that you really liked, or a video that we haven't made yet that you want to make?
I'm really excited for what this year has to offer. Like there's so many videos that are coming that no one even knows about. There's new products that are launching that, again, some people don't even know about. I think Chupacabra Off-Road is doing such a great job at adding value and adding high quality content that nobody else in the off-road space is really succeeding at, in my opinion. I am biased a little bit, but we're not out here trying to crash our cars. And like you said earlier, we're not putting half naked people in our thumbnails. So we're really trying to show people the true side of the sport and the fun and the family side, the things that you want your kids to look and watch and be like, oh, I want to go there. And I think that's what's super exciting. Even some of the newbie content that we're doing, just it really engages people and like, oh, I want to go and get that. I want to go and do that. I want to go there. I haven't been to Glamis. I haven't been to Moab. I've never been to Baja. What is it like? And we're providing that for those people that have never been. And I think that's just really exciting for us.
Yeah, just to add to that real quick, Haley, before you chime in, Wes, like for Moab, for a lot of people, that could be an 8, 10, 14-hour drive. As we all know, that's a huge effort of just gas money, of loading up your rig, getting time off work. You want to know if you're going to go roll the dice, Wes, you're going to go to a new spot you've maybe never been. You want to know, is it worth it? Like, what can I expect? Like, what is the vibe like of me going there? And also build the anticipation if you did commit to a trip to Moab or Dumont or, Oregon. I know for us, like we haven't get to St. Anthony in Idaho, and it's been a long time since we've been up the coast to Oregon doing. So, I mean, how do you think about that, Wes? Like, as content is going to get you fired up, or like, if you're going somewhere new or get you stoked on it?
Well, you mentioned it earlier when you were watching the Baja video, Bryce's video, it got you stoked. Like some of those places, we've been on those roads and we're just like, oh man, I just want to be back there right now. The cool air, the sunsets, riding on the beach, all that type of thing. So specifically when it comes to Moab, because I've never been. And honestly, we were supposed to go last year and it got canceled, but I'm really stoked to go. All the videos that I've seen, all the people that I know that have been there, there are some sketchy stuff, but it's most of the stuff you can put yourself into. So I think when it comes to content point of view, it's important for us to make the video that's going to want people to go there. We're not working for Moab, but there's cool riding everywhere you go. We did a Coral Pink video, as you mentioned. We've done Glamis. We've done so many different places where people ride. And I hope that when they see that, we're not just trying to sell them on those riding places, because there's different places you can ride no matter what, different terrain. But when it comes to rocks and crawling, there's one place that comes in mind, and it's Moab. And so I don't know. I'm excited for the video. Hopefully it turns out really well. Hopefully that I don't end up on UTV fails. So, but going forward and, videos that I would like to see and content that I would like to see more of, or maybe for us to do more of, would be the little how-tos. They don't have to be more than a few minutes long. The belt changing, the clutch thing, one thing that I've seen a lot of times is that Polaris will do an update on the ride command system, the computer system, and you'll get on these things and people are like, my ride command keeps shutting off every 3 miles and it won't track and it's doing all this and da-da-da-da. Well, I had the same situation happen to me. I thought something was wrong with my car. Well, what happens is they do a mass update, and if people don't update their thing, their ride command system, it does that, and people don't realize it. So there's a guy that's like, I've taken it to the shop, or I'm not taking it to the shop. He's like, I've tried this, I've tried resetting it, I've tried pulling the battery, da-da-da-da. And I was like, hey, just download the new thing. It takes 3 minutes. Guy messages me the next day. Man, that's it. I've been fighting this for a week, and that was it. So little how-to things like that, I think I would like to see more of them. Maybe, you know, I've seen other platforms or other people do it, like S3. They do a lot of stuff with the Can-Ams, like, you know, in the shop with Manny, that's their main prep guy for their team. And he does, you know, how to change a belt with Manny, or how to change brake pads with Manny, or things like that. I think those would be good. And they don't have to be long videos. They can be little short videos. And then obviously, you know, the big videos that we want to do this year, I'm excited to do those too, because you get to do more driving and do more fun stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, one thing, I mean, there's probably like 3 people listening to the podcast at this point, but
yeah.
I want to buy you guys, I think, and if anyone even listens this far and wants to comment, I'd love your feedback, but maybe just some more behind the scenes small business stuff. I think kind of all this has an overtone of how we're trying to build a business on the content side. So I feel like it's like a natural progression, like Haley kind of alluded to. We got some products coming. The difficulty of designing, launching, showcasing products, growing our sales, and then growing, evolving content wise is a whole process in itself. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I think that might be like where we try some stuff, be kind of cool, because I think maybe like maybe not small business, like you said, Haley, not the right way to call it, but just like business development and like growing a passion business that's in a sport that we all love. People might want to know more about how we do that and how it gets done and like all the effort that goes into it. It's not all just high fives and
are you trying to get people to open a small business, or you're trying to get them to be like, screw that, I'll just keep my 9 to 5? Because that's what a lot of people will do.
It's gonna be just like the racing videos. You're gonna watch it and be like, that's too much work, I'm over it. Well, good times, gang. It's fun hanging out. Thanks to everybody who listens to this. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe, follow, share, all that type of stuff.
And leave us some comments. Let us know, because, you know, we're not like Robbie Gordon. We're not just going to come out there and be mad at you for making negative comments. But, you know, we want to be better. We want to do the best. You know, we're no pros, but we also want to argue with people too. So
yeah, I love how Robbie addresses the hecklers. Let's give us some heckling. We want to argue with you guys. We're ready.
One guy that like said something negative, he'll probably already sued him. I don't know. Who knows? We're not going to sue you.
All right, thanks everyone for listening. Catch you all later.
All right. See you guys.